many of her fans will be pleased to discover are in their gold and black today. Melbourne Victory with a good throng of fans having accompanied them across the Tasman in their traditional navy blue. Steely determination on faces of experienced players like Lee Broxham there. No one has played more A-League men's matches than he. And those with a little less experience, Eli Adams alongside. You caught a glimpse of him, the 21-year-old who makes his first start of the season for Melbourne Victory today. Teams will come together, and before every A-League men's and women's game this weekend, we're going to have a moment's appreciation to acknowledge the passing of Socceroos legend Manfred Schaefer, 49 full internationals for his country, one of the pioneering Socceroos who first qualified for a FIFA Men's World Cup in 1974. We're going to have that moment's acknowledgement now of Manfred Schaefer.
Please be upstanding if you are able to join us for a moment of applause to celebrate the life of Socceroo number 198, Manfred Schaefer, who recently passed away at the age of 80. Manfred played 49 A internationals for the Socceroos and was an integral part of Australia's 1974 FIFA World Cup team and a member of the Australian Football Hall of Fame. Please join us for a moment of applause.
Phoenix fans, thank you for your mark of respect.
From this side of the Tasman, we send our love and heartfelt best wishes to the friends and family of a true Australian sporting legend, Manfred Schaefer. Ufuk Talay has a fully fit squad to choose from and makes 3 changes to the side that started the 5-1 loss to Adelaide a fortnight ago. Oscar Zavada returns up front. Josh Laws comes in at centre-back. Tim Payne shifts out to right full-back with Callan Elliott dropping out of the 11. Sam Sutton starts in place of Lucas Moragas at left-back. It is Sam Sutton's 50th Wellington Phoenix appearance. 1 enforced change for Melbourne Victory. Paraguayan striker Fernando Romero suspended after his red card against the Mariners. Replaced up front by Eli Adams, the 21-year-old starting for the first time this season. Jason Guerrier hasn't travelled with soreness. Connor Chapman in at right back. And Lee Broxham comes into central midfield. Ben Falami and Chris Economides present the wide threats. Bruno Fornaroli the main goal-scoring danger. Impact off the bench, plentiful for both sides, in particular the likes of David Ball, Callan Elliott, Clayton Lewis and Lucas Moragas for the Phoenix regular starters throughout the season. Nishan Velupale and Bruce Kamau could be crucial later for Melbourne Victory. Highly regarded Iranian Alireza Fagani visits Wellington for the first time as an A-League referee. The Phoenix hoping for an upswing in fortunes under his control. They've not won any of their 7 matches when he's been on the whistle. Assisted by Mark Rule and Isaac Travis, Campbell Kirkwana wore the 4th official, and that is 7-year-old Ollie Gaisley, the envy of his classmates at Wellesley College. He is the coin toss kid today. Ufuk Talay said yesterday speculation linking him with a move to Melbourne Victory was just that, speculation. He's had no conversations with those in the corridors of power at today's opponents. Still no official word, though, on his future, either here in Wellington or further afield. Victory coach Tony Popovich doesn't have particularly fond memories of playing in Wellington. The first time he came here in November 2007 with Sydney FC, he was sent off. Fortunately for him, the Sky Blues were awarded a late penalty, converted by none other than Ufuk Talay. Referee Alireza Fagani gets us underway, and for the first time in over 3 years, the Phoenix and Melbourne Victory lock horns here in Wellington. Melbourne Victory were in fact the very first A-League side to visit the venue all the way back in August 2007. The two sides played out a 2-2 draw that night. Victory have won 23 of the previous 45 meetings, 7 of those on this side of the Tasman. The Phoenix have 11 wins over the Victory, 9 of those coming here in Wellington. And there are usually goals. Just 2 of the previous 45 meetings have finished 0-0. Jacob Spoonley, a couple of tweaks in the Wellington Phoenix personnel today. The formation clearly stays the same. What are you expecting early from the home side in particular?
Well, contrasting fortunes for the coaches. Tony Popovic unable to call upon some of the players that have been impactful for him recently, immediately before the international break. But for the Wellington Phoenix, the cavalry very much has returned. It's a strong bench today when you consider the likes of Clayton Lewis, Ben Old, and David Ball make up those waiting for their opportunity. I think Ufuk Tally's expecting this one to go the distance, despite the distance between these two sides.
Ball falls in the centre circle to Chris Economides. He sets Bruno Fornaroli off on a chase, which Tim Payne matches stride for stride. Goes back to Ollie Sale, who's come all the way out to right back to clear that one. Payne and Sale, fresh back from international duty on this ground, actually, against China a week ago.
Could be the first time this season that we have all three, the wind, the rain and the Phoenix here in Wellington. Been blessed with some wonderful weather as we've travelled down to the capital, but not so much today.
Yeah, most home games for Wellington this season with the 3 o'clock kickoffs have been played in warm conditions. As you say, Jacob, not so much today. Any wind that there is a strong northerly, so on your screen that is coming from the left of screen to the right, but anybody who's visited Sky Stadium knows that actually the wind just swirls around of its own accord here.
It doesn't stay that way, absolutely, Jason Pine. You can at times find all 4 corner flags blowing in different directions.
Melbourne Victory in their dark blue today. Still, as I said pre-game, and as the panel pointed out, with realistic aspirations of finding their way into the top 6. Of course, they'll resume the Melbourne derby midweek this week to make up that game. They'll trail 1-0 when they get underway at Amy Park with 69 minutes to play. Hold that thought as Barbarouses pokes it inside. Easily dealt with by Paul Izzo. So 3 games in a week, which could really prove pivotal for Tony Popovic's side and their finals hopes.
Well, they won't want to get opened up like this, and I think if the roles had been reversed there with Sam Sutton finding Costa Barbarouses, you would have found the Wellington Phoenix player in a much better position than the left fullback. But it does start a bit of a last chance for Melbourne Victory, it has to be said. Yes, they are the team outside the top 6 with the best goal difference, but they are what they are, and Tony Popovic has seen a massive turnaround in his side. It's a combination of being unfortunate and ill-disciplined at times at the back, and then really not being able to score goals with anywhere near the consistency that they had last year. However, as we've seen with this league, that can turn around very, very quickly.
Yeah, you talk about consistency. Melbourne Victory haven't had yet back-to-back wins this season. They were winners last time out impressively as well against the Mariners, so looking for successive wins for the first time this season. For their part, Wellington looking to bounce back from a bit of a hiding against Adelaide United, who are dishing those out at the moment and looking every inch a Premier's plate challenger. What a game last night between they and Western Sydney at Comback and Parramatta. Cracking A-League contest, and Adelaide United winning it by the odd goal in 5. It means that Wellington, with a win today, could move level on points with Western Sydney Wanderers in 3rd place on 34, with a vastly inferior goal difference, however. Here is Eli Adams on his starting debut this season anyway, the young 21-year-old. Good to see him get an opportunity with Romero suspended after his goal-scoring exploits against the Mariners. He was absolutely distraught when the red card was shown his way. That pop up and touch the hand of Josh Brillante. No, says referee Fagani. Will play on. Here is Fornaroli, bringing Economides into the action early. Tim Payne looking to halt his progress. Hasn't managed to do so, but the cross was along the carpet, easily dealt with by the retreating Stephen Ugarkovic. Here's Sam Sutton in his 50th match for Wellington. Kraev.
Just an interesting change from the graphics that we showed at the start of the match. It looked like Kraev was going to start on the left-hand side, as he has done all season, but in actual fact, Melbourne Victory are going to have to deal with two Goliaths up top. Kraev playing in more of a central number 10 or up alongside Zavada, so it's going to be a lot for De Silva and Roderick Miranda to handle.
Costa Barbarouses in the starting side today as well, against one of his former clubs. 120-odd games across 5 seasons for Melbourne Victory. 41 goals for them, a fan favourite during his time in Victory colours, Costa Barbarouses. Not able to bring that one under control, but always keen footballers to face their former employer.
2 goals so far this season for the number 7 in his 3rd stint at Wellington. Probably not the return that he was looking for, but can still play an influential role in trying to elevate the Phoenix this season. It's got to be said, Piney, they have stumbled when given the opportunity so far this A-League season. You can think back to the likes of Western, Melbourne Victory last time, Perth Glory. I think for Ufuk Talay, it's starting to become a mentality question, one in which this team can answer today.
Long ball by Roderick Miranda was not seized upon by any of his teammates. Key part of this Melbourne Victory rear guard, Roderick Miranda, the 32-year-old Portuguese defender. Frenchman alongside Damien De Silva in central defence for Victory today. Connor Chapman, that's like the throw, has been pushed out to a right back role. No Jason Geria today, we're told, only that he hasn't travelled due to soreness. So we wish Jason Geria all the best, no doubt watching on television back home. His next game will be his 150th for Melbourne Victory, a wonderful milestone.
Only the 4th Victory player to get to that threshold. Would have really enjoyed seeing him here today. Brings great composure and a physical dynamicism every time he steps out onto the field, and really has become a favourite of Tony Popovic.
A little shove in the back there by Lee Broxham. He's another member of that 150 club for Victory. In fact, well and truly entrenched. This is game number 378 for Lee Broxham, would you believe? In the A-League, he played in Wellington's very first game back in 2007. Vaughan Coveney played in that game as well for Wellington. He's about to turn 51. That's how long ago it was that Lee Broxham came to Wellington for the first time. What a servant he's been for Victory and for the A-League men's.
I do believe just a year older than me. So do your gym work, kids, and you can still play at the age of 35, 36.
Should take your own advice. Here's Bojadir Kraev making a run down the right-hand side. Not able to quite haul that one in. Bojadir Kraev is an interesting proposition, isn't he? He's had moments where he's been very, very good. Other times he has drifted out of games and has even been replaced perhaps earlier than many would have expected. How have you assessed Bojadir Kraev in his maiden season in the A-League? Have a think about that as Victory attack now through Fornaroli. Economides. Flag stays down on this near side. Chris Economides. Good cross in. Falami was there. Not able to seize upon it, nor Brillante. Connor Chapman gets it back for Victory. Josh Brillante with the captain's armband. Fornaroli punched away by Sale, still there for Victory, and hacked away by Woolton. Bruno Fornaroli with his first sight of goal in this one.
Very reactive defending there from the Wellington Phoenix. Has been a bit of a hamstring of theirs so far this season, and you cannot give that man a chance. Bruno Fornaroli had 2 bites of the cherry there. Good work, the wingers combining for Melbourne Victory. Economides gets that ball across. Falami looking to tap it in. Ball almost falling to a navy blue shirt, and then it does fall to Fornaroli. Excellent concentration, just wants to test Ollie Sale, and in doing so keeps that ball in a dangerous area.
5 goals in his last 7, Bruno Fornaroli, 11 and 16 against Wellington, 88 in the A-League. Ollie Sale, well aware of the danger presented by Bruno Fornaroli. More coming now with Victory in a set-piece situation. It all rather came apart at the seams for Melbourne Victory, unfortunately, as Josh Brillante was trying to cook something up, and it didn't, well, it didn't rise.
No, and that's probably the summation of Melbourne Victory's season so far. Ball in a dangerous area and then stuttering, a lack of confidence to deliver into the Phoenix's box. For such an accomplished player like Brillante, you'd expect more from him.
Ugarkovic for Wellington. Sutton's off on a run down the left. Ugarkovic thought about it, but then headed out the other direction. Rufer, freshly inked 3-year contract extension for Alex Rufer this week, by the end of which he will have been at the club for 13 years. The club captain, his Laws. Rufer to Kryev, clever passing by Wellington until that. And Katete and Economides might look to construct something down Victory's left. Young Suss putting in a defensive shift and halting the progress of Chris Economides.
Good little snapshot of the match so far. Melbourne Victory sitting deep, looking to consolidate, being disciplined defensively, but also narrow, and the Phoenix did have space to exploit outside, decided to go intricate and keep it central, and at that point, that's when Melbourne Victory were able to recycle the ball and spring forward. And as soon as they do win the ball, Economides and Falami are trying to get up and turn this 4-4-2 into a 4-2-4 and really get at the Wellington Phoenix in transition.
Yeah, Falami has featured in all 20 games, 21 now for Victory this season, his 17th start, 4 off the bench, so he's been a constant in the side. Ben Falami in 11 there, centre of screen. This injury robbed us of the opportunity to see Nani here in Wellington. I know there was something football fans here were looking forward to. Here's Zavada. They were looking forward to his return to Oscar Zavada. His first chance perhaps to seize upon something. Wellington starting to up the tempo just a touch. Barbarousis. Ugarkovic, and now Payne. Victory just sitting back and letting Wellington bring it up over halfway. Now Fornaroli decides he'll put a bit of pressure on. Falami almost nicking it off Rufer, but squirts out to Sutton. Barbarousis towards Zavada, and drifting over the top of Oscar Zavada. Steven Ugarkovic making a darting run to try and cause trouble too.
We asked Tony Popovic how he would have marked Oscar Zavada, and the response was, not by myself. It would have been a combined effort, and already we're seeing De Silva and Roderick Miranda very conscious of where the number 9 for Wellington is at all times.
Long ball looking for the run of Falami. He will haul it in across the 6-yard area. Fornaroli arriving in and around the near post. Ball stays in play and will be a throw to Victory right down by the corner flag.
A lovely weighted ball. Falami's onto it like a flash, and he knows that Fornaroli's going to get across that front post. Simply drifts it across the Wellington Phoenix 6-yard box.
Connor Chapman in the slightly unfamiliar position of right fullback today, and Josh Brillante unable to divert that one back to his teammate. It's Ben Falami. Always had plenty of tricks in his locker, pace being one, quick feet another, ability to read a game. Connor Chapman, plenty of experience there after his recent move to Victory. Connor Chapman spent the first portion of the season at Brisbane Roar.
It's really been about unlocking those threats, and last year Marco Rojas played such a pivotal role at times. He was able to take the board forward himself and disrupt opponents and then pick the right pass at the right moment. With Jake Brimmer out this season, it seems that Tony Popovic is really devoid of options in terms of creativity. He does have the threats, but hasn't been able to exploit them so far this season.
Yeah, we mentioned Nanny, but Jake Brimmer, what a loss for Victory. Just so pivotal in this side. Wonderful season last time around, and Victory fans robbed of his influence through his recent injury. As you mentioned pre-game, Melbourne Victory have the best goal difference of any of the sides currently outside the top six. In fact, it's better than sixth place Sydney FC's as well, so they were able to string the points together. Their goal difference might just be the difference in seeing them making a late run for finals football.
But it's certainly on the cards, particularly with the make-up game, the Melbourne derby, to be played during the week. Did like your question as to whether Aidan O'Neill could be the first player to score in a game that he doesn't play in.
Yeah, if Aidan O'Neill doesn't feature on Wednesday, it'll be an anomaly. It'll be a sports trivia question for the ages. He, of course, has the goal that has Melbourne City in a 1-0 lead. They'll resume on 21 minutes with that lead intact. Here come Victory again. Fornaroli has Equalizes outside, decides to shoot himself. Wooten in the way. Taken away from Falami by Rufa. Fairly, says referee Fagani, and now Wellington might be able to sense the chance to break. Suss is off on a run down the right. Barbarouses can't find him. Miranda with no issues in snuffing that one out. Good pace to the game as Victory come again. Equalizes dancing along the line, too close to Sale. Chris Equalizes, we know what a dangerous threat he is. Former Socceroo, has caused trouble for Phoenix teams here before, not only for Victory but for the likes of Perth Glory as well.
Equalizes and Falami are both lingering in the high and wide areas, patiently waiting for the moment. And in the first 20-odd minutes, they have come with regularity. You can see there 5 entries into the Wellington Phoenix's penalty area. They do look like the most likely avenue for goals today for the men in navy blue.
Nothing to do yet for Paul Izzo in terms of shots on goal. Suss might try and change that now, the Brazilian Jan Suss. Back to Kryev, and it's deflected behind for a corner. Not sure it was on target. Roderick Miranda. They're asking for handball, and Kurt Ams is in the VAR box, so no doubt he'll have a look at it. Wasn't a vigorous protest by Wellington.
Well, Jan Suss gets in a one-on-one battle with Cadete, cuts in onto that left foot, and Miranda with the block, hands tied to the body. No question about handball there.
First corner of the contest. Suss to take for Wellington. Easily dealt with at the near post by Falami. Payne looks to recycle out in the direction of Jan Suss. Yeah, the wind buffeting throughout affects Mike. For those not used to playing here, i.e. visiting sides, it can be a challenge. Wellington players know it pretty well, the vagaries of the wind here in Wellington.
You get warned early, Jason. Typically, if it is going to be windy on a match day, the landing is a lot of fun.
Referee Fagani had his whistle in his mouth and was just waiting to see where the play would progress before whistling the foul on Costa Barbarouses. Rufa wants to get going quickly. Connor Chapman committing the indiscretion. Here's Barbarouses. Sutton's inside, gone inverted, the fullback. Allowing space for Barbarouses to earn Wellington a second corner.
As you touched on there, Jason, both fullbacks taking a much narrower position than we have seen them for the Phoenix so far this year. Inverted, as you said, and what that is allowing is a one-on-one situation as both Falami and Economides are tucking inside, and the fullbacks for Melbourne are having to go out and try to stop the likes of Jan Sass and Costa Barbarouses.
Tim Payne will swing this one in right-footed. The breeze may play a part. It's a good delivery, away by Miranda, only as far as Sass. Tim Payne's going to get a second bite at the cherry. Gives it to Cryer for too much on it, and he's annoyed with himself, Tim Payne, as he jogs back into position.
It is starting to become a staple of the way in which the Wellington Phoenix conduct their set pieces. They do set up to recycle the ball as part of set phase, so you will see typically 2 or 3 Wellington Phoenix players hovering around the 18-yard box. A good example there is Jan Sass got that ball down to Tim Payne, who then spurned the opportunity to get the ball back into the box.
Miranda drills it forward, easily dealt with by Law, seized upon by Fornaroli, now picked up by Brillanti. Falami. Broxham sitting in a true number 6 role, the number 6 for victory, allowing Brillanti, although he's dropping back a bit now, to break a bit further forward. Alex Rufer in that 6 role, or one of them, for the Phoenix breaking up the latest attack.
Does cut a cool, calm and focused figure at the moment. Is enjoying his football. At a return to the All Whites, Alex Rufer played well in the first game against China. Not a player responsible for unlocking the deadlock, but did really settle into what he was being asked to do by Darren Baisley.
A number of these Wellington players involved on international duty. We mentioned Payne and Ollie Sale, Costa Barbarouses, of course, as well, Rufer. Sam Sutton and Ben Old were in the under-23 side that took on China as curtain raisers to those full internationals. Lucas Moragas on the bench for Wellington today, just back from Ollie Roo's duty.
And of course, former Melbourne Victory player Marco Rojas was largely the difference between the two sides in that second game against China. Did buzz around in the midfield delightfully. Influential in setting up the first goal in particular.
Jan Sass picks up some scraps. What can he create, the Brazilian attacker? Gives it up to Rufer, gets it back. Sass, tight area. He and Kryev try and combine. And it all breaks down with plenty of blue shirts there to defuse it. Laws nips in, can't get it. So we're 24 minutes in. Nothing in the way of a clear-cut opportunity really for Wellington. Nothing that Paul Izzo has had to do in terms of a fully-fledged save. Any worry lines for Mufuk Talay with the end product not quite there at the moment?
I think this is largely what he would have expected out of Tony Popovic's side. Away from home, not having had the best season. Probably would have felt that they would have been cautious, tried to consolidate in the early stages of the match. Definitely didn't want to go behind. Having gone behind in games this season, Melbourne Victory have only come back to win twice. And of course, one of those being against the Wellington Phoenix.
Zavada nips in. Zavada helps it in. Danny Cole, Oscar Zavada. Could it really have been anybody else? Oscar Zavada officially welcomes son Leo to the world and chalks up a 13th goal of the season, putting Wellington into a 1-0 lead.
We've just talked about consolidated, defensively disciplined. There was none of that here for Tony Popovic, and the Wellington Phoenix behemoth paints with brutal brush strokes, lifts that one over Izzo, and a self-inflicted early goal for the Melbourne victory. They can't always keep a lead, Jason Pine, but boy, can this Wellington Phoenix side create one.
17 times now Wellington have scored the first goal, more than anybody else. Melbourne victory have now conceded the first goal 14 times. Surely a sign there to wife Patricia. Maybe baby Leo is even at his first Wellington Phoenix game today. How they missed him in Adelaide. How they welcome him back today. 13 goals now for the season. We're into Paul Eiffel territory now. He got that many in 2009-10, Nathan Burns in 2014-15. Only Jeremy Brockie and Roy Krishna ahead now of Oscar Zavada.
Well, nervousness will start creeping into North Queensland. Jeremy Brockie can see Oscar Zavada coming over the horizon. A truly remarkable goal-scoring streak when you consider that he wasn't fruitful in the first couple of games for Ufuk Talay.
Here's Falami looking to bite back for victory. Ben Falami into the area, keeps it in well. Bit of a deep cross, and Sasa's back, but not doing a particularly good job of it initially. He has slowed the progress, though, of victory. Calls for handball against Economides, not heated. Broxham. Brillante. And Sutton stoops to head behind. You can feel Ben Falami behind him. The other thing about that goal for Oscar Zavada, that is now goals in 5 consecutive games for Oscar Zavada. That equals the club record. Toma Hamed in the last 5 games he played for the club, actually, at the back end of 2020-21 before heading off to Western Sydney. So Oscar Zavada continues to equal and break records in yellow and black.
A true catalyst for Ufuk Talay.
Economides takes the corner. It's a deep one. Zavada's defending. Falami with the scuffed effort. Not cleared. Oscar Zavada tries to bring it down in his own defensive penalty area. That isn't exactly his usual office.
Here we see the goal. Really not dealt with by Melbourne victory. And then a giant of a man, De Silva, can't get the ball over him. And he lifts it over Izzo. The Wayne train's gone, but the Wellington Phoenix roll on.
Rufer looking to set up another attack, bringing Barbarouses in. Sutton is arriving at a great rate of knots. Barbarouses shoots himself.
This will be a good test of the mentality of the Wellington Phoenix, despite the fact that they won 2 of their last 3 heading into this fixture. 2 of those results did see Ufuk Talay switch to a back 5, not a back 3, a back 5, around about the 60-minute mark of both of those games. And survival really was the word of the day against Newcastle Jets. He won't want to continue having to convert to that formation, which is very cautious, bordering on negative at times. He'll want to see his side play this one out today in convincing fashion.
Well, it was asked that at the press conference yesterday, the pre-game press conference, what have you been talking about that will prevent you or you know, not compel you to have to do that? And he said, well, holding on to the ball a bit better would help.
The other point, Jason, is that there is real depth in this bench today. Old Ball, Moragas, Elliott, Lewis. Some experienced A-League players in there.
Sass, was he fouled? No, says referee Flagani. Jan Sass is still, well, he is up on his feet now, just rubbing his back rather gingerly. Here's Kraev. Thought about the pass and then thought, hang on, I might bring this forward a few metres. Sees Ugarkovic making the run into the right wing position. Rufer. Alex Rufer lifts it over the top to Sass. Jan Sass. Izzo out quickly. Good penalty area management from Paul Izzo.
Audacious from Alex Rufer, buoyed by that new contract that he signed this week. Just didn't fall for Sass. He was caught in between, waiting for that ball to drop down and trying to attack it with the head. Isuzu did well to clean up.
Half an hour gone in Wellington. Oscar Zavada almost inevitably has the goal that has Wellington in the lead. Eli Adams there, just about seizing upon that long ball. Here's the chance for Suss.
Good sharp turn from Alex Rufer. Zavada comes short and Suss goes in behind. And was caught waiting and waiting for that ball to come down. Isuzu recognised the danger and did well.
Lovely play through midfield for Wellington. Sam Sutton breaking forward. Sam Sutton shoots. Well, he was an attacking midfielder growing up, Sam Sutton, so it's not unfamiliar to him. A wry smile. He was keen to mark the occasion of game 50 in Phoenix colours with a goal.
There's a great example of the fullbacks being inverted. Sam Sutton charges through the middle. He was waiting for a defender to pop out or for a run to be made. It didn't happen, and he gets to the 18-yard box and pulls the trigger just wide of Isuzu's right post.
It's been a challenging season at times for Sam Sutton. He contracted COVID, which ruled him out of a couple of games, picked up injuries which weren't helpful, and has had to sit and watch Lucas Moragas take hold of that left-back spot. But the quality was always obvious for Sam Sutton, and he's got an opportunity now to perhaps cement his place for the run home.
Whenever you talk to Ufuk Talay, there was always mention of the plan for Sam Sutton, a player the Phoenix had confidence in and invested in his development. Only really stymied by the good form of Lucas Moragas throughout this season. Of course, on loan from the Newcastle Jets.
And will return there at the end of this season. Here come victory again. Economides looking to weave some magic again. Cuts onto his right foot. Into the area, Falami just sitting on his heels a little bit. Eli Adams, I think, got that flick on. Falami not quite able to seize upon it.
But there is space for Melbourne Victory to exploit, and Economides and Falami have been ever present in this first half. Not sure if he would have been onside there, but Falami had taken up a dangerous position just off the shoulder of Sam Sutton.
Rufer drills one in the direction of Oscar Zavada, easily dealt with at the back by De Silva. Chapman goes long now. Adams is off. Well, he was initially, and then realised there was too much on that. Eli Adams with his opportunity, his first to start the season, just 19 minutes off the bench in 4 previous appearances this season for the 21-year-old. Kraev, a little complaint about the nip on the ankles he got. He does seem to be playing a lot deeper than Zavada, with Barbarousis also up in support. There is Kraev, brings it down beautifully. Ugarkovic. No one really ahead of him, so he might have to rethink the attack. Kraev. Sutton. How narrow he is, Sam Sutton, for a fullback, allowing Barbarousis, as you pointed out, Jake, to get into these positions and perhaps go one-on-one with Chapman. Kraev.
I think as well as that, the inverted fullbacks and the wide number 10s for the Wellington Phoenix is designed to force this back 4 deep. Tony Popovic has been very concerned with the space in behind, particularly with Zavada.
Barbarousis shoots, as I always saw it coming. No problem for the victory custodian.
He's been busy in this first half, looking to add to his 2 goals so far this season. Would like to see him try and combine underneath. He's got a lot of space there. Can he get the ball into the big number 9 or 11? They are well adept at holding their defenders off. They could look for the return into Barbarousis, who is dangerous inside the 18-yard box.
Cadete for victory. Broxham is over, helping out. Miranda. Read by Payne, with Economides looking to make a run. In fact, that might have been Cadete making a deep run from left back. Real patience and surety in the passes by Wellington. Bojadir Kraev gets the pass away and is collected, but referee Fagani says play on, you've got it. Jan Saas has it. Kraev is back on his feet now. Saas, a little dummy. Ball into the area, but not past Miranda. Kraev back on his feet. Kraev shoots! Well, 30 seconds ago, he was lying on the ground after being poleaxed. Bojadir Kraev.
Well, he wasn't on Melbourne Victory's radar because he was on the ground, and the late run comes because of that. I think Paulozo comfortably seeing that one away to his right. I think Bojadir Kraev is the only Phoenix player to score, or to truly score from outside the box so far this season. 2 goals, one against Newcastle and the other against Western United, so it tells you how the Wellington Phoenix want to play. They want to build chances that pose risk to the opposition, get that ball into the box.
Kraev is fouled again. He's such a tricky customer when he wants to be, and Wellington have a free kick situation. No Clayton Lewis out there at the moment. We know how dangerous he can be from this sort of range. Steven Ugarkovic might take the opportunity without Lewis there to try and score what would be a first Phoenix goal. He's only got a few games left. Steven Ugarkovic to break his duck for Wellington. He's off, of course, at the end of this A-League men's season. He's been told to go away, Steven Ugarkovic, by Alex Rufer and Jan Saas.
Get the sense that this one might be stood up to the back post. You've got Wooten, Zavada and Kraev lurking.
It is going to be Jan Saas who delivers. Does exactly that, up towards the far post, headed down by Rufer, calls for handball, lobbed by Barbarouses. Wooten knew he was offside. And flag up on the far side for offside, so it all comes to nothing for Wellington. You talked about goals from outside the penalty area. Melbourne Victory are pretty good at it. 6 of their 23 from outside the area, more than anybody else in terms of the rate at which they've scored goals from outside.
Yeah, unfortunately for Melbourne Victory, one of the main threats in that regard, Jake Brimmer, deadly from a set piece and also from range, isn't available today. The meniscus injury that he picked up earlier in the season, questions about how long it'll take for him to get back out on the field. We do wish him a speedy recovery.
Izzo looks long. Wooten untroubled. Broxham wins it over the top of Rufer. Adams back and making a nuisance of himself and winning the free kick. Eli Adams not getting a lot of opportunity up top, Eli Adams, so I don't mind a young player dropping back to try and get involved.
Particularly with the wingers going high and 2 holding midfielders in Brillante and Broxham rather. There could well be space in that midfield. We've seen Victory go direct at times, have circulated it deep and then look to get it into their wingers. Adams trying to create another opportunity.
Wellington just sitting for the meantime. As Melbourne Victory trying to pass through them unsuccessfully. Rufer using that experience in his body position to retain possession for Wellington. Ugarkovic and now Wooten. Saas. Rufer. Ugarkovic. Clever switch over towards Sutton, who's got a bit of room to work with in front of Tony Popovic. Thought about the cross. Once again, the patience from Wellington. If there's nothing on, they're not willing to force it. Barbarouses towards Sutton. Chapman across and does well. Connor Chapman to defend Sam Sutton's forward run into the final 5 minutes of the first half.
Chapman did do well there, just bounced Sutton off slightly, wasn't going to let him get onto that ball and head towards goal.
Valami rakes a pass out to Economides. Tim Payne with some defending to do. Jan Saas back helping out. Well, he's not renowned for his defending, Jan Saas, but he got the cheers of the crowd then. But here come victory again through Economides. Cadete outside. Saas is back and makes a second tackle. He goes about 5 or 6 matches without one, and then 2 in the space of 30 seconds.
That's the mark of a good number 10, Jason. Tackles made in your own half.
Good to see from Jan Saas. Sutton, good. Shifted body position to get away from Fornaroli initially. Laws. Round 22 in the Isuzu UTE Men's A-League. Wellington have scored in all 22 of their matches. That is a club record, which continues to grow. Eli Adams can't fashion something for victory. Of course, goes without saying they've scored in all of their home games, and in fact scored first in every home game this season.
Haven't won all of those matches though, Jason, and control can't turn into complacency here for Ufuk Talay. For Tony Popovic, it's a bit static and laboured at times in the middle of the field as Melbourne Victory look to move this Wellington Phoenix defensive unit around. The danger very much is in these wide areas. You can see every time they get on the ball, a midfielder or a defender is looking for Valami or Economides.
Wellington calmly pass it out again and pass it through Melbourne Victory. Cryer outside of the right foot looking for Saas. Miranda knew what was coming and took it away from Jan Saas and wins the throw. A pretty composed piece of defending, all things considered, from Roderick Miranda.
Lovely piece of understanding. You can see Miranda there, checks to his left, simply ambles across and takes the ball off Jan Saas and then does enough to win the throw-in.
Wellington quickly get it back though, looking to finish the first half with a flurry. Rufer. It's not going to find its way through to Saas. Cadete in the way. And Victory got a final attack in this first half. Chapman has to track back to get that one under control. Into the final minute of regulation time. We're told there'll be a minimum of just 1 extra minute at the end of this first half. Adams gives it away, but then wins it back. Rufus on the ground, but still has the ball. Surrounded by players. Falami's going to bring it away, Ben Falami. Adams is there, Eli Adams. He's stopped in his tracks by Laws. Wellington looking for open spaces. They might find them out right. Tim Payne's off on a run. Saas ahead of him. Running into the area and behind by a Victory player, Damien De Silva. Now, referee's having a word here. The upshot's a corner. Tim Payne raiding from right back. Or into the extra 1 minute minimum.
It's a great run from Steven Ugarkovic. He tears into that near post. Probably offside, but that means that De Silva's got a choice to make. Does he go with Ugarkovic, or is he Zavada by himself? And Chapman wasn't getting anywhere near the Wellington Phoenix number 9.
Bit of a sigh of relief, no doubt, for Damien De Silva, the French defender, as that one flew wide of the goal frame. But it has resulted in a corner, which could be the last action of this first half. Pain to take. Deep delivery. Zavada's there. It's going to fall to Sass on the edge. He tries to head it back out towards Payne. Can't get the power on it. And passed forward by Falami. Half-time in Wellington. Alareza Fagani brings proceedings to a close after a pretty evenly fought first 45. Oscar Zavada, though, the familiar side of his name on the score sheet. Midway through the first half, it was his clever finish that has Wellington into a 1-0 lead at half-time at Sky Stadium.
Everyone you can see here is alive and well because of organ and tissue donation. But there are 1,800 people waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. And there are only 13 million Aussies who are eligible to register but haven't. Scan this QR code or head to donatelife.gov.au and check your register to be an organ and tissue donor. You won't need your Medicare card from in 1 minute.
No mai hoki mai, welcome back to Sky Stadium. Te Whanganui Atara, Wellington. New dad, same old Oscar Zavada. 25 minutes, and of course it's he who scores the Wellington Phoenix goal. He is the man who separates the two sides here at Sky Stadium today. I'm here alongside the Wellington Phoenix icon, Paul Eiffel. Paul, listen, there really is just one team in it. The Wellington Phoenix have been dominant, even if it doesn't translate on the scoreboard.
Yeah, look, they've looked pretty comfortable throughout. Obviously, it took a little bit of time to get into their stride. So far, victory pretty lackluster, I think. I think Popovic will have some changes to make at half-time. I think Ufi will be quite pleased with how the Phoenix have gone. Obviously, we talked about the first goal in the pre-match, and it goes to Oscar Zavada. I'm a little bit disappointed that there was no celebration, no baby rocking, but it's nice to get off to a good start again back after the break.
Now, sometimes in life we don't get everything we want, Paul Eiffel, but at least we got a Zavada goal. 5 consecutive matches in a row. He has found the back of the net. 13th goal of the season, which is something you may have done way back when you were playing in black and yellow. Well taken goal, but what about the defending from Damien De Silva?
Yeah, look, it got a bit lucky, really. Ball bounces back here. I don't know what De Silva's thinking. Zavada, again, though, picks up a position where De Silva doesn't know where he is. And then once he gets through, like I keep saying, the goal must look so big at the moment, but I thought it was going to be a clash with the keeper, but no, he gets there. Nice little toe over and into an empty net. His finishing is absolutely on point at the moment.
Channeling a little bit of Paul Eiffel, he's hunting down the Wellington Phoenix season scoring record. Not too far to go for Oscar Zavada. He's got 4 more regular season games after this. All right, first half stats, and they should be heavily in favour of the home side. Paul Eiffel, what do you make of this possession? Time in opposition half is an interesting one.
Yeah, look, I thought it would be heavily skewed in the way of the Phoenix. It's not. Maybe they must be doing more with it at the moment than we're seeing necessarily. But the passing accuracy is clear, and the passes, 380 to 238. I think they've been pretty comfortable in possession, and that we'll go on to in a minute, but I think that's the way they've set up in possession today.
Ufuk selected an interesting starting 11 for this one. David Ball on the bench, Lucas Moragas on the bench, Callan Elliott, who made his All-Whites debut just a couple of days ago, he's on the bench as well. So we were interested to see how the Wellington Phoenix lined up in and out of possession today. Paul, what have you seen with your eagle eye?
Yeah, I think look, with Tim Payne coming in, obviously for Callan there was a few eyebrows raised there, but I think what they've done when they're in possession, they look to play out in a back 3. So Payne gets tucked in nice and narrow. They make a back 3 with the other 2 centre-backs, and they allow Sutton to move down the left-hand side. And it's worked actually really well, because then it looks like a 3-2-5. So they're actually overloading the back 4 of Melbourne Victory, which is making it really difficult for them to even get a foothold into this game.
And the interesting thing for me, Paul, is that often we're seeing Sam Sutton drift infield. He's providing more of a central option than Costa Barbarouses.
Yep, so again, I think if you look at it, it's a 3-2-5. So if you imagine 5 channels across the pitch, Zavada's normally in that central channel. You've got Kraev to one side of him normally. Sass does the wide right, and then it's either Sutton, if he's outside, Costa will go in, or vice versa. So those 5 channels are covered, and again, it makes it really difficult. Who goes and steps out to a certain person? Popovic will try and fix that at half-time, I think.
Ufuk channeling some Pep Guardiola vibes, do you think, Manchester City?
I think he is. I think he is, and to be fair, so far it's working.
What about Costa Barbarouses? He's occupying a deeper, almost a creative role. In possession, have you been impressed with what you've seen? Has he had success today?
Oh, there's been some good and bad. His first touch has been great. Finds a bit of space, and it seems to be taking too much time to get it out of his feet from that moment on. I think it's probably his decision-making's not been quite right. Final pass, not quite right. He does well at times. I mean, here, cuts in, shot blocked. Should be looking for a pass. I think if you swap the roles round with him and Kraev, I think that's more natural. Maybe if Tale has decided on something different, gone with the 2 big men up top, and hopefully to see if that works. I don't think it has. Don't be surprised if he changes that back at half-time today.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting switch. What other changes do you think Ufi might make at the break? Because they have one heck of a bench at their disposal, thanks to the starting lineup that he selected today, Paul.
Yeah, look, I think to be able to bring on the likes of David Ball, you've got 2 really good fullbacks, in my opinion, 2 of the best in the league, and Moragas and Elliott provide a lot of assists as the season has gone on. So to be able to make those 3 changes, I think is pretty important as the game goes on. Look, I do expect the Phoenix to go on with this. I think they'll get the 2nd and hopefully the 3rd and make it more comfortable. But with those sort of players on the bench to be able to change, I think he's in a good spot.
And if they do, as Paul Eiffel says, all of a sudden that home playoff is looking more and more likely as they hunt down a 3rd or a 4th place finish. At the break, though, it's the Wellington Phoenix 1, Melbourne Victory 0. Back with the second 45 in a moment here on Sky Sport with your commentators Jason Pine and the spoon, the top draw man, Jacob Spoonley.
Wellington Phoenix, dot site, just over 5 minutes remaining. Give it 500 cash up the grabs.
Oscar Zavada with a pinch and a punch on the first of the month to give Wellington a 1-0 lead at half-time here. 13 for the season now for the Polish striker. Wellington fans happy. Team starting to make their way back out. Big night ahead in the A-League men's. The Mariners against Brisbane to follow in Gosford. Sydney FC up against Western United at Allianz, and then Perth Glory against MacArthur out west at Macedonia Park. Melbourne City against Newcastle, Amy Park tomorrow to complete round 22. As far as the victory are concerned, they'll need to find a way, any way they can, to get back in this match and then to get the 3 points. A defeat today, Jacob, wouldn't be absolutely terminal for them, but they are starting to run out of matches in which to acquire the points they need for the top 6.
A loss today would make that mountain ever so much larger. If you think back to the start of the season, the promise that Melbourne victory showed, that win in the big blue feels like an age ago. For Ufuk Talay, he must ensure that Wellington Phoenix's pragmatism in securing this lead that they've earned in the first half doesn't become pessimism. The negativity that we've seen in second halves from this Wellington Phoenix side over the last month or so cannot be present here today in the capital.
Couple of changes for Melbourne Victory. Stefan Negro into the action. Leighton Brooks may also have made an appearance. There he is, Leighton Brooks in 26. Connor Chapman and Lee Broxham have made way. So Tony Popovich rolls the dice early. Second half underway in Wellington. Home side, yellow and black. Kicking left to right, that's towards the southern end of Sky Stadium. Melbourne Victory heading towards their knot of supporters at the northern end of the venue. No changes for Wellington. But as Goran and Ify and Jacob have said in the pre-game and half-time show, there's so much artillery on the bench if needed for Ufuk Talay. Starting players in previous weeks, the likes of Clayton Lewis and Callan Elliott, David Ball, Oscar Van Hattem if he wants something a bit different in attack. Ufuk Talay, bottom of screen there.
Just to round out those changes, Connor Chapman has stepped into the midfield, occupying the vacant position left by Lee Broxham. And Stefan Negro has taken up that right back spot. So a slight reshuffle off the back of those changes. And there they are, the willing artillery.
I said Connor Chapman before. That's clearly not the case because he's on the ball now. So it's Adams and Broxham who have made way for Negro and Brooks. Victory looking to mount an early challenge in this second half. Kroyev can't get it out from under his feet. Fornaroli goes down. Referee says no problem with that. Fornaroli gets back up, falls back down, gets back up. Got the ball, Fornaroli. So hard to get it off, and he's held on to it. Falami. Negro. And it rebounds into the arms of Ollie Sale.
Well, it did look like a free kick at first glance, but Ali Reza Vagani has allowed play to develop and little battles to happen. Had it been a free kick, though, it was in a great position for Melbourne Victory to come out of the gate storming in the second half.
Yes, I can see Connor Chapman there has gone into central midfield. He played there against the Mariners, taking the place of Broxham. It allows Stefan Negro, perhaps a more attack-minded right back, to get involved, and Leighton Brooks replacing Eli Adams up top alongside Bruno Fornaroli. The touch there from Leighton Brooks is a good one. Falami with it. Sam Sutton looking to shepherd that out, can't. Josh Laws, though, is there to help tidy up. Good vigorous opening to the second half from Melbourne Victory. Economides skips away from Sarsrada Kadete into Economides and whacked behind by Ugarkovic, so it's a good start for the Victory.
Well, the corner was won down the left-hand side, but that stanza from Melbourne Victory started down the right. Both Leighton Brooks and Negro involved in adding some energy to this Melbourne Victory team. Brooks seems to be wanting to play off the front line and the gap between defence line and midfield.
Economides takes the resulting corner. They go short. Economides now helps it into a crowded penalty area. Not clear, to shove in the back perhaps on Tim Payne. Referee saw it, decided it was okay. Bit of a mini break on here for Wellington. Barbarousis. Not too many friendly faces with him, but here's Ugarkovic. Zavada at the far post, and that's who Ugarkovic was looking for. Too close to Isuzu.
Costa Barbarousis breaking down the right-hand side, and then the calibration, the timing wasn't quite right. You could see the Wellington Phoenix reinforcements coming through the middle. And speaking of the right-hand side, Callan Elliott is up and about.
Ugarkovic nicks it off Connor Chapman, who puts hands on his shoulders, and the referee wasn't too keen on that approach from Connor Chapman. Yellow card issued to Victory's number 14, the first of the contest.
Ugarkovic taking up more advanced positions than we've seen from him so far this season. And Connor Chapman giving him a hug, which results in a yellow card. And the question will be now is, do we see Callan Elliott? Because he is at halfway, waiting for his opportunity to come on.
We are going to see it now, and it is going to be Callan Elliott who will go into the right back position. Josh Laws is the man replaced. He no doubt will leave a vacancy for Tim Payne to slot across into central defence. So Callan Elliott right back, Tim Payne and Scott Wootton in central defence. Josh Laws doesn't seem particularly keen on coming off, to be fair, and what professional player would? Callan Elliott into the action, one of the standout players for Wellington this season.
Was introduced to great effect on this ground by Darren Baisley for the All Whites. Let's see if he brings that level of energy to the last 40-odd minutes of this one.
Zavada and Sass lining this one up, but it's Zavada! Paul Izzo watched it all the way, well aware of the angles. Paul Izzo looked good off the boot from Oscar Zavada.
That's confident. He's every right to be as well.
Callan Elliott's first involvement is a robust challenge which wins possession back for his side. Here's Jan Sass onto that left foot of his. Jan Sass! What a save by Izzo! That is top-class goalkeeping from Paul Izzo. Outstanding save.
Well, this is big. This is very big from Paul Izzo. He has kept Melbourne Victory in the contest. Jan Sass cuts inside. The angles open up. He's got all of the goal to pick from. And he puts it down this near post. Izzo would have been unsighted. Gets a better save every time you look at it. Jason Pine.
That is absolutely terrific goalkeeping from Paul Izzo in his first season at Melbourne Victory. Stints at Adelaide a couple of times and the Mariners. Game 140 tonight or this afternoon rather, for Paul Izzo. He has come up massive for his side there.
And I do know we have a camera behind the Phoenix's goal, so hopefully we were tracking that one, because we'll get a great sight on what Jan Sass was seeing as he moved towards goal, only to be stopped by that man in orange. Stands up the defender, cuts across, drifting across that 18-yard. You can see that far post opens up for him, and actually it's De Silva that does well to cut off the angle and buys Izzo the ability to make the save.
How big might that be for Melbourne Victory? The deficit stays at 1 for the meantime, but here come Wellington again. Ugarkovic has been busy. Tim Payne back into a central defensive role with the introduction of Elliott. Wootton goes long, Sass looks offside. Mark Rawls keeping a close eye on him. Flag up. Sass offside.
It was almost a game of chicken between Jan Sass and Mark Rawls.
Heavy touch from Falami allows Barbarouses to step in.
Well, Melbourne Victory did start well. A lot of energy coming out the sheds. You can see there the possession in the opponent's half very much in favour of Wellington Phoenix, almost 85%.
They have it back now, though, do Victory. Chapman helps it down the line. Economides. Fornaroli. Bruno Fornaroli just looking for options. Connor Chapman. Cadete. Economides again. Cadete again. He just took a heavy touch. Was he fouled by Sass? And then did he put hands on the ball? Yes, he did. Well, Cadete thought he was fouled, and then as he was on the ground, he used his hand.
Got to say, the refereeing this afternoon has been a sight. That one might have been a free kick. I was going to say, Reza Pagani has done well to officiate and to allow the game to play out and the battles to happen.
Oh, given away by Wellington. You don't want to be doing that. Here has been Falami. Falami, it's deflected wide.
Well, that's Rufa. Gets caught on the ball. Wooden does well to repel the initial attack, and then it falls to Falami. And aided by a deflection, does end up wide of Ollie Sale's goal.
Economides with the corner. Payne wins it. Strong header. Barbarousis off after it, trying to free up Jan Saas, who gives it back to him. Now Barbarousis into the path. He hoped of Zavada. Really good defending by Cadetto, who'd gone all the way across to centre back. Krajev. Saas is free on this near side. Jan Saas lays it back, and Ugarkovic. Izzo again. Another tremendous piece of goalkeeping from Paul Izzo.
Absolute quality from the Melbourne Victory stopper. Jan Saas, free again on this right-hand side, lays it into Ugarkovic and tries to find the near post, the bottom corner. A lovely stroke from Ugarkovic, only denied by Izzo.
Two contenders for save of the week from Paul Izzo. He's got more defending to do now, though. And they get it away through Leighton Brooks to victory. That's one of those, Jacob, and you'll know this as a keeper. That's almost past Paul Izzo. It's an incredible save.
It's the balance, it's the way in which he doesn't bite. He stands and makes the save so late. Strong wrist, gets that one around the post. There's one man Tony Popovic can credit to keeping his side in the game. 2-1, the Wellington Phoenix currently finding their way to goal compared to the Melbourne Victory.
Barbarousis in towards Zavada. Important header by Miranda. Away by Cadete. How much longer can Victory withstand these waves of Wellington attack?
It's unrelenting at the moment from the men in yellow and black. All the pressure, all the possession. Shots on target as well, coming down this end of Sky Stadium.
Stefan Negro. He finds Falami. Now Bralenta has a look around and thinks nobody's here. I'll go for a wee run myself. Josh Bralenta heavily involved in this latest move. Economides. Bralenta again. Looks out towards the right-hand side and a little skim off the head of Sam Sutton. Corner for Victory.
Well worked forward by Brilliante there. Chapman, his other centre midfielder, taking up a more advanced position than we saw from Broxham, and that time Sam Sutton couldn't take the chance. Slight touch results in another corner for Melbourne Victory.
Economides will take this one as well. Referee Fagani happy with everything, and Economides takes. Bent out towards the penalty spot and headed in! Bruno Fornaroli, the flag stays down. The initial header from De Silva, and Bruno Fornaroli. 6 goals in the last 8 for him, and Victory are level.
We'll have a look at this one. But that is where Bruno Fornaroli lives. Give him half a yard inside the 18-yard box, and he'll make you pay. It's going to be tight. Defenders moving one way, Fornaroli moving the other. Great reactions, lovely finish. Fornaroli reacts much faster than Sutton. At the moment, it stands at 1-1.
Kurt Ams is in the VAR box and will no doubt have a look at it. Alareza Fagani is just holding things up for the meantime. Pretty crucial moments in this game. Goal stands. Bruno Fornaroli. Well, I don't think there's any point booing. Kurt Ams has got every angle he needs in the VAR box, and those 2 saves now from Paul Izzo take on even greater importance for the victory.
Even at 35, Fornaroli. Fox is in the box. Paul Izzo lay the foundation, and then Bruno Fornaroli drifts into that back post. You can see there he looks level with Sutton as that ball leaves the Silver's head. Tony Popovic, he reacts, he knows what that means. They have survived and now they have got their goal.
That is the 89th A-League goal for Bruno Fornaroli. He's now just one behind Archie Thompson and three behind Shane Smeltz. He's fifth on the all-time list. Bessart Barisha and Jamie McLaren are some way clear, but Bruno Fornaroli breathing down the neck of Archie Thompson and Shane Smeltz. He won't be thinking at all about that. He'll just be thinking about scoring another one and getting victory into a winning position here. An hour gone in Wellington.
Oh, it's all about the guile and the intelligence, the recognition of where that ball was going to end up. And he bettered a man as younger in Sam Sutton. All of the work was really done before the ball even got to Fornaroli. The question is now, what does that man do? Does he keep things the same? He has Ball and Lewis in particular on the bench.
A nervous pass back to Ollie Sale, and he doesn't get it clear. Economides almost picks it up, doesn't? Ugarkovic finds it at his feet. Suss now as the crowd find their voice. Zavada in the box. Barbarousis on the far side. It's a disappointing cross. Božidar Krajev picks it up. Costa Barbarousis. And victory will scramble this one clear.
There were two opportunities to get that ball into a dangerous area for the Wellington Phoenix, and both times they lacked the quality to find a teammate. And there were options inside the Melbourne Victory penalty area.
Double change, we're told, coming for Wellington. I think we're going to see the introduction of David Ball and Clayton Lewis for the final half hour or so here. Real riches at the disposal of Ufuk Talay on the bench today.
That sounds like the end of the afternoon for Božidar Krajev and Stephen Ugarkovic.
I think they've just made a late change to that. Actually, it might be Costa Barbarousis who's coming off instead of Božidar Krajev. So we'll just await confirmation down touchline. In the meantime, victory, wind in their sails. Falami into Fornaroli. Bruno Fornaroli continues to be influential. Stefan Negro was joining the attack.
Falami starting to take up some central positions and doing so to great effect. As he drifts inside, Sutton follows him, and then Negro arrives late. And Connor Chapman is looking underneath as well. So a good combination starting to build for Melbourne Victory down their right-hand side.
Chapman. Falami. Helped into the penalty area. The wind plays its part away by Wellington. And Jan Sass now might have a chance to stretch his legs. Cadete is back, though. Sass inside Chapman. Jan Sass. Barbarousis, who is about to be replaced. Sutton. Dealt with easily by Victory. Ugarkovic, who's also about to be replaced. Rufer. Thought about the shot, Rufer. Ugarkovic again. Good cross in, Zavada!
A rueful shake of the head. That's the third chance this afternoon. Potentially the second goal. Goes begging for Oscar Zavada. Looks like Ugarkovic's last contribution to the game is drifting wide into another dangerous position. And then a beautiful ball to find the Wellington Phoenix's big man.
Clayton Lewis and David Ball into the action for Steven Ugarkovic and Costa Barbarouses. Two high-quality players. David Ball scored the last time Victory were here 3 years ago in a 3-0 win and has lost just 1 in 6 meetings with Victory, David Ball. He'll have been disappointed not to get the start today. Clayton Lewis in the final few matches of his Wellington Phoenix career. Game finally balanced. Clever from Wellington, bringing Sutton into play. Ball across towards Zavada. Tried to get the turn in the penalty area. Zavada couldn't manage it. Stefan Negro clears Victory's lines. Still there for Wellington. Kryev. Lewis wants it. First chance to get involved for Clayton Lewis. Doesn't find its mark, and Victory come away. Fornaroli, look how deep he is. Such a crucial player for Melbourne Victory. Bruno Fornaroli, he has the equalising goal.
We are hearing that Connor Chapman is going to be making way for Rai Marchand. So Tony Popovic, I think, conscious of the fact that he'll need 11 on the field in order to keep the pressure on Wellington Phoenix, and Connor Chapman with his yellow card means that he's collateral.
Another pretty handy replacement for Tony Popovic. Rai Marchand, the 29-year-old Spaniard. That change is coming now, as Jacob alerted us to. Into the section for Connor Chapman. Rai Marchand into the action as we tick towards the final quarter of this game.
Good experience to bring on in the heart of that midfield. Victory need to keep frustrating the Wellington Phoenix.
Well, Tony Popovic has seen it all, hasn't he? He's approaching 250 A-League games, not to mention the offshore experience he's had. Nothing will faze him. Ufuk Talay also up over 100 games now in charge of Wellington. Slightly different situation from the previous 2 home games. Newcastle and Sydney, where they very much shut up shop with the 1-0 lead. Can't do that today.
Different dynamic as well. Those 2 matches at the time were 6-pointers. Wellington Phoenix looking to keep Sydney and Newcastle at bay.
And they haven't been able to do so. Here's Leighton Brooks. What a save by Sale. Leighton Brooks was presented a present, and Ollie Sale limited the damage.
It's a poor pass from Payne, and Ollie Sale has to backtrack quickly. 2 big hands to get that one away. Another corner that the Wellington Phoenix need to defend. Have they learned their lessons?
Rai Marchand will add his aerial prowess. Damien De Silva, we've already seen it from him. It's another deep one. Dealt with this time by Wellington. Kellen Elliott's all the way over there trying to dispossess Bellamy. Can't. Zavada's back defending. You can hear Ufuk Tele's instructions in the sound effects, Mike. He wants his team up.
I think that might be actually the sheepdog at the back, Jason Pine. That's Ollie Sales' gravelly voice, barking at the two banks of black and yellow in front of him.
Scott Wooten just about losing his footing there, gets it back to Ollie Sale, who takes a break from barking orders to bang that one forward. Oscar Zavada and Roderick Miranda together, foul by Miranda.
Zavada again making himself an outlet for the Wellington Phoenix to develop play forward. Bundled to the ground by Roderick Miranda.
Rufer dispossessed illegally, says referee Fagani.
Well, the energy in the middle of the park for Melbourne is now present. It wasn't always in the first half, and Fornaroli and Brooks are snapping at the heels of Lewis and Rufer. Not being allowed to turn. They do not want them facing forward.
Ben Falami not able to control, and that might be his last action, because as he looks over to the far touch, he'll see his number is raised, and Nishan Velupillay will be introduced. Ben Falami makes way. Nishan Velupillay has been involved in every game this season for Victory, usually from the bench, and it is so again today.
Similar player to Ben Falami, a winger, probably larger than your traditional winger. Direct, strong, good touch on the ball.
Lewis. Cleverly out to Sutton. Hayne looking for the run of Elliott. That might be a bit too much on that, is there? No, Callan Elliott's done well. Gets a favourable bounce. Faced by Cadete. Callan Elliott to the line. Can't find room for the cross. Rufer to Lewis. Clever pass back out to Elliott. Now he might have the chance to measure the cross. It's a good one. Back across goal towards Zavada from Kraev. High foot, but play on, says the referee. Kraev again. Lewis again. Sutton. They're probing Wellington. No opening available. Might be now. Jan Sass gets it across the 6-yard box, but only as far as Ray Marchand. And that will be a fairly easy free kick for Alireza Fagani to give.
Ball down the right-hand side. Callan Elliott demonstrating the delivery, which he's become known for this season. Kraev trying to get on back across goal. He had ball and Zavada. I think the wind here in Wellington played its role in reducing the quality of the chance there.
Two more subs being readied for Wellington Phoenix. Cadete hairs after this one. First time cross from Cadete. Too far away from Velupillay. Pochettino Kraev in a bit of a cul-de-sac there, but does want to throw. So here come those subs. Ben Old and Lucas Moragas into the action. Moragas will be a straight swap for Sam Sutton at left back. And Ben Old also into the action. He takes the place of the Bulgarian Božidar Krajev.
Bruno played well for the New Zealand under-22s. Been influential, particularly in the first game. Assist of Riley Bedouin to create the 2-1.
Here's Velupillay. Nishan Velupillay, surely! Callan Elliott with a crucial save. Ollie Sail was beaten, Callan Elliott was not.
Well, Izzo down one end and Elliott down the other. Velupillay waited and waited, drifted past defenders, and then Callan Elliott right at the last. A big right boot to ensure that one doesn't bulge the back of the net, left foot rather.
Corner results for victory. Still some defending to do for Wellington, and they haven't been able to. Damien De Silva, who set up the first goal for victory, has scored their second. And Melbourne Victory, who were 1-0 behind and facing a mountain to stay in the playoff race, have gone into a 2-1 lead. Second goal of the season for the French defender, Damien De Silva, and Victory lead at 2-1.
He was provided for the first. The second time of asking, he does it himself, wins the initial challenge, reacts the quickest. And Ollie Sail, no chance as that ball comes through. A number of bodies in black and yellow. Damien De Silva. The road to victory for Melbourne.
What a contribution in attack from Damien De Silva. It was his header that found the head of Bruno Fornaroli for Melbourne Victory's equaliser. And it was his right boot that wrapped itself around that one and diverted it beyond Ollie Sail. Melbourne Victory ahead. As things stand, this would take them off the foot of the A-League ladder.
Wellington in ruins at set pieces. Victory have taken them apart twice now.
Yellow card coming for Chris Economides here. Trailing leg of Jan Sas taken out by Chris Economides.
Economides seems to be claiming that he received a blow to the face. I think it all comes about as he falls down on the back of Jan Sas's boots. Wrestling the Wellington Phoenix's number 31 to the ground.
So Melbourne Victory, this proud A-League club, have found a way to keep themselves alive here. They still have that game in hand, remember. They'll play the remaining 69 minutes of the interrupted Melbourne derby on Wednesday night at Amy Park. Restarting that match 1-0 down to Melbourne City, but still with points to play for. They then host Perth Glory on Easter Sunday afternoon before finishing their season away at Western Sydney and at home to Macarthur and Brisbane Roar. Tony Popovich will believe there are enough points left for his side to collect to make a late and some would say unlikely run to the top six. They were sixth at the World Cup break, Melbourne Victory. Haven't been in the top six since then, and picked up just 11 of the 39 available points since Christmas. But here they are ahead in Wellington. Lewis with the free kick, too much on it.
That ball from Lewis evades everyone at the back post. It hasn't always been convincing from Tony Popovich's men this afternoon. They've had to rely on some desperate defending at times, but boy, it has been effective at this point. They've got 10 minutes left to see out here in New Zealand's capital.
Victory make slightly hard work of getting that one away, but they find the safety of the touchline. Wellington want to get going quickly as we head towards the 80-minute mark. Well, Wellington Phoenix fans, not that long ago, probably thought they might be getting their shirts off at 80 minutes. Not a bit of it. Might be the Melbourne Victory fans who perhaps brave the Wellington wind. Maragis and Old, two of the newly arrived players, with Lewis on the far side. Their energy surely now will be crucial. Taken away, and Victory break forward through Leighton Brooks. Can't find Valupale as Lewis regains the ball for his side.
That combative pressing that we were talking about in the early stages of the second half, it's now turned into contain. You can see there Fornaroli and Brooks, the furthest players forward for Melbourne Victory. Very much concerned about Lewis and Rufer, quite happy to allow Payne and Wooten on the ball, even in their own half.
Cadete with a good header. A loss certainly wouldn't be terminal for Wellington's top six hopes either. Regardless of the weekend's action, they won't fall outside the top six after this round, but 3 points today would certainly have reinforced them as top four challengers. Now, with some difficult matches to come, they might have to reassess things. Melbourne City away is their next assignment, the toughest in the A-League probably on Easter Monday.
The other point, Jason, is that there seems to be a bit of a ceiling that the Wellington Phoenix keep bumping up against. If this result stands, it'll be the second time the Wellington Phoenix have lost to the bottom side here at Sky Stadium.
Maragis floats it in over the top of everybody, and Cadete calmly gets it away only as far as Jan Sass. He's encouraged to shoot. Very left-footed, so he's over on his right. Elliott. Maragis. Sass. Deep for Wellington. Sets off into a little pocket of space, Jan Sass. Not on the same wavelength as David Ball, and De Silva clears it with ease. Economides. It's a good run here from Leighton Brooks, and up and over it goes. Second opportunity he's had, Leighton Brooks, to test Ollie Sale. He did the first time, not that time. Tim Payne was making it difficult for him, in fairness, but Leighton Brooks not able to find the target that time.
Oh, third goal would have sealed it for Tony Popovic. Talk about the second loss for the Wellington Phoenix at Sky Stadium. If this stays as is, it will also be the second time that Melbourne Victory have come from behind to win a match.
That one has gone behind off Valupale, says referee Fagani. It'll be a Wellington corner. Tony Popovic thought that Valupale was fouled by Maragis. There's the live ladder as things stand, so it moves Melbourne Victory up. Wellington would stay in fifth place. Lewis. Paul Izzo, nice, clear call from Paul Izzo. Gee, he'll look back, and so will his team, on those two saves that he made when Wellington were 1-0 ahead. At 2-0, it would have been a very different story.
You can see what the wind's doing to the ball there. Up and down from Lewis, dies at that near post. Regardless of confidence of Izzo, he goes and claims that one with two big hands.
Nice into play is Valupalate. A couple in the area. He might go himself. Another good save by Sale. Nishan Valupalate driving into the area, looking for a second goal of the season. Denied by Ollie Sale.
Well, Fornaroli is ropeable. He's right there, just to Valupalate's left, and all Valupalate needs to do is roll that into his path. Good save by Sale, but a missed opportunity for the Melbourne victory.
5 minutes of regulation time remaining. A third goal for victory now surely would seal the 3 points. Plenty of elevation on it, and it's De Silva again. This time it lands on the roof of the net. He was heading back to centre-back without even waiting to find out where it ended up, Damien De Silva. What a threat he's been at set pieces.
That's a one-man wrecking crew. I think it's the last 3 corners Melbourne victory have had. It's ended up on the number 5's head.
Careless from Clayton Lewis, almost dispossessed, but gets it back.
They can't be too cautious here. Wellington, they need to move that ball forward and side to side with pace. There's one thing that a Popovic side is more than comfortable at doing. It's sitting these deep banks of 4.
Wellington Phoenix's very first game of A-League football was against Melbourne Victory on this ground and finished 2-2 with the equaliser in the 87th minute, scored by Shane Smeltz. He's not here, but there are players out there who wish to emulate him now. Moragas. Old. Now Lewis. It's very tight over there. They can't find room for the continuation of that move. Lewis. Moragas. The cross is too close to Isuzu. He just pats it down in front of him. De Silva gives him a pat on the head on the way past.
Well, it's a back 6 at times for Melbourne victory. The castle's been defended by the back 4 that you can see there. Not going outside the width of the 18-yard box, and then the wide midfielders, they're dropping deeper to take care of the Phoenix's fullbacks, who are taking up higher and more advanced positions as we head towards the 90 minutes.
Well, these 3 points are as much Paul Izzo's as they are Bruno Fornaroli's and Damien De Silva's, the goal scorers. His exploits in goal as important, if not more. Time the enemy now of the home side. Old gets away from Negro momentarily. Lewis. Back across by Elliott, but too close to Izzo, who very calmly chests it down, soaks up a couple of seconds and then falls on the ball.
It's that sort of sharpness of thinking and play that will be required to open up Melbourne victory. Lewis with a lovely weighted pass, and you could see what Callan Elliott was trying to do there. Do wonder where the other Wellington Phoenix players are. David Ball needs to get closer to Oscar Zavada.
Economides. Possession, everything now for Melbourne victory. Josh Brillante. He lines up the shot. Just off target from Joshua Brillante. Final sub coming for Melbourne victory. Nathan Konstantopoulos ready to enter the fray as we enter the final minute of regulation time. Moragas does well to keep that in. David Ball, industrious as per usual. Into the area, David Ball. Can he find a teammate? Moragas lays it back. Lewis! Wide from Clayton Lewis.
Sharper work by the Wellington Phoenix. David Ball picks up that second phase off Moragas, does well to create the space for Lewis on the edge of the box. And a player of his quality, you're expecting him to at least get this shot on target. A rueful Clayton Lewis.
Konstantopoulos is on for Melbourne victory. We've reached the 90 minutes. There will be a minimum of 4 extra minutes, during which Wellington will be desperate to find an equaliser.
And Brooks is the player that has left the game, subbed on at half-time.
Yep, so the substitute has been substituted, has he?
Appears that way.
Alireza Pagani and Bruno Fornaroli in heated conversation here. Josh Brillante is trying to get Fornaroli away from the referee.
It seemed like something was lost in translation, but Bruno Fornaroli cannot react like that.
Bruno Fornaroli issued with a yellow card, and amongst all of that, it hardly matters as Wellington come forward. Lewis slides it in. Well read by Melbourne Victory's defence in the form of Nishan Velupillay. Everybody back now for victory. Lewis brings it forward again. 3 in the area for Wellington, ball included. Spits out to Alex Rufer. He's urged to shoot, gives it up to Wooten. Elliott. Now Suss through the legs of Cadete, but he does well to clear Victory's lines. Well, it all looked comfortable for Wellington at 1-0 ahead and on the front foot. Weren't able to convert a couple of very good chances, and now find themselves behind with the clock running down.
Roles very much reversed now. Melbourne Victory looking comfortable despite the lack of possession in territory. Confident knowing that they have an informed Paul Izzo to help see them out.
Victory within touching distance of consecutive wins for the first time this A-League men's season. In the early game, the Wellington Phoenix women scored a late goal to draw 2-2 with Melbourne Victory's women. Is a similar script potentially to be written here? Victory desperately defending as we move into the final of the 4 minimum minutes. Ball. Wooten's all the way forward. Ball can't get it into the area. Suss shapes to shoot. Goes through a gap. Jan Suss. Jan Suss with the curling effort. Doesn't curl enough. Can't wrap his foot around it. Goal kick results.
And this might be it for the Wellington Phoenix. Jan Suss did well to work the effort, but the shot was never troubling Izzo's goal. Desperation for the Phoenix, a big result for Melbourne Victory though. They've had some excellent results against the top 6 recently of the last 2 months, only losing to Sydney FC. Looks like they're about to add another result to that today.
What a time to take a Trans-Tasman visit for those Victory fans. Last opportunity surely for Wellington. David Ball is fouled. Free kick results. And in fact, there's no time for it. Melbourne Victory's A-League finals flame is still burning. To the delight of their travelling fans, they have come from behind. Da Silva and Fornaroli, the goal scorers. Tony Popovich masterminding a win. Paul Izzo so influential. Melbourne victory, certainly no April Fools. Wellington Phoenix 1, Melbourne victory 2. Delight for Melbourne victory. Damien De Silva will freely admit, I'm sure, that he was at fault for Wellington's goal, but he has been so crucial at the other end, or the same end really, but at the attacking end. Oscar Zavada scored a goal, but it won't mean anything today. 13 for the season and 5 in 5 games consecutively for Oscar Zavada, but Paul Izzo coming up massive for his side. And delight among the travelling Melbourne victory players, support staff and fans. Connor Chapman, well, Paul Izzo doesn't buy a drink tonight, I think that's clear. Bruno Fornaroli scored the goal that brought Melbourne victory back into things. He is a constant threat and drawing closer to the likes of Archie Thompson and Shane Smeltz on the all-time list. Much more to come from Bruno Fornaroli, much more to come from Melbourne victory. For Wellington, they lick their wounds. Certainly not terminal. They're still well and truly alive in the playoff race, but Melbourne victory are too. Melbourne victory are as well. Let's get you down sideline. Goran Paladin is alongside victorious Melbourne victory captain Joshua Brillante.
Cheers, Piney. Josh, after an hour, Melbourne victory probably weren't in that contest. What was the turning point here today which led you to a 2-1 victory?
I think just our determination today. We knew we were in it. It was a tough match, it always is a tough match here, but we knew we had to keep fighting, and that's what we did today, and we came away with the win.
Let's talk about Damien De Silva. Maybe at fault for the Wellington Phoenix goal, but boy, did he stand up, especially at set piece and corner time, Josh.
Yeah, he's a brilliant player for us. He's really calm and got quality on the ball, so he stepped up today and he did a great job.
Goalkeepers are a strange breed. I think we can all agree on that, but you've got a really special one in Paul Izzo. Some of those saves, Ugarkovic, also Sass, probably putting off Oscar Zavada as well for his header. Speak to the quality of Paul Izzo in goal.
Yeah, Paul is a top-class goalkeeper, and sometimes that's what you need in games is someone like him. You know, he keeps you in the game, and like today, he was able to keep the ball out there in the second half, and we were able to put 2 away, which gave us the win.
You've been at the foot of the ladder, no more. Is there a belief in this victory squad that you can actually get into the top 6 and throw a cat amongst the pigeons come playoffs time?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think you would see us playing like this if we didn't believe in ourselves. And I think we've shown in the past few games the quality we have, so we're storming home now.
And just lastly, you haven't been to Wellington in 3 years, the Melbourne victory. What was it like? The blustery wind, the rain? Have you missed it all this time, Josh?
Definitely haven't missed it at all. The wind's a tough one to play in, and it's always a tough game here. The crowd's great, and pitch is quality, but no, it was a great game today, and they put up a good fight as well.
Good on you, Josh. Thanks for your time, and congratulations on the win today.
Thank you.
And we'll just bring in Alex Rufus, skipper for the Wellington Phoenix. I can see it written all over your face, Rufus. Where did that one get away from you, mate? You were in control for the vast majority of that game.
Yeah, you said it. We let ourselves down. We were poor from set pieces, and they punished us.
Yeah, so talk to us about those set-piece incidents. Damien De Silva was running amok, but surely, you know, you've got to be better at those moments. Who wasn't stepping up in those times?
No, look, for us, we switched off. It's not an individual, it's collectively. We need to be better from those moments, and today we let ourselves down massively.
What kind of a blow is this in terms of trying to get to a 3rd or a 4th place finish on the ladder for a home final?
It's a big blow, but look, we've got 4 games left. We know where we are. Yes, it's disappointing, but we go again. We believe in ourselves. We're a good team, and it's down to us now.
Not all bad. Oscar Zavada returns and he scores his 13th goal of the season. 5 consecutive now for the big pole. How much did you miss him against Adelaide, and what does he bring to the side when he returns today?
He brings goals. He's very good in the box, and today he scored. But look, at the end of the day, we lost the game, so we need to get back to training and work hard.
All right, Roofs, thanks for your time, mate. Good luck on Easter Monday against Melbourne City.
Thank you. Cheers.
It has finished here 2-1 in favour of the visitors. Melbourne Victory have defeated the Wellington Phoenix here in the capital. Is it the last match that the Phoenix will play here this season? It is in the regular. Will they get a home playoff? That's to come over the next 4 games. Up next, though, here on Sky Sport, we'll review everything with Paul Eiffel, Jacob Spoonley, and Oscar Zavada will join the panel as well, the new daddy. Stay with us here on Sky Sport. It was all going so well, and then Damien De Silva got involved along with Bruno Fornaroli for the Melbourne Victory. They were last heading into this fixture, but still in with a shout of playoffs football. Somehow, some way, they've inspired themselves to a 2-1 victory at the expense of the home side, the Wellington Phoenix. I'm alongside Paul Eiffel, Jacob Spoonley, as I always am, and Oscar Zavada has been kind enough to join the post-game panel. Oscar, look, mate, we'll talk about the result shortly, but first of all, I just want to know, mate, how's fatherhood treating you? How's little baby Leo?
It's good, thank you. It's very good. Sometimes doesn't sleep, sometimes sleep. Not like, it's good. It's everything fine. My wife is getting better, and hopefully the kid is healthy, and it's very good. Thanks God.
Yeah, how's Leo allowing you to juggle training and being a daddy daycare, if you like?
Yeah, just I give him 3-4 weeks more, and then we start practicing.
To the result itself today, Oscar, mate, that must be bitterly disappointing, controlling the game and then just clocking off at key moments at set piece off corners. How frustrated are you at what's played out here today?
Yeah, don't play on my emotions because I'm angry, so I don't want to say too much because if I say too much, it's nothing gonna help us. So we lost the game, we consider shit goals, and we deserve them. We deserve to lose. If you consider goals like this 2 times in a row, corner kick, then you cannot pick up the points, and yeah.
The flip side of the coin was the wonderful contribution from Paul Izzo in the Melbourne victory goal, 2 big saves. Did it feel like another goal was coming after those saves, or that was a turning point in the match and you felt the tide was turning?
No, like as you said before, we controlled the game. It's why really I had a very good feeling that we are going to score the second goal. But then you consider very easy goals, and yeah, and then you mentally down as a team, and you know, they get a wind like to the back, and they try to then attack you more and more, and yeah, and the last 20 minutes we just give away the game.
Well, obviously you're hurting today. I can see that, so I don't want to go too deep. But looking at your season so far, 13 goals. I think it's 5 in a row. You're absolutely on fire. The goal must look very big for you at the moment, which is great. I've really been impressed with your movement this season. Is it something you look at the video and analyse before games, or is it something that comes more naturally for you?
No, it's not. It's nothing naturally. I always put a lot of hard work on the pitch, off the pitch. I'm very happy that I create the chances with my movements, that you also can see these movements. I appreciate, so thank you. And every game I try to analyze my games, my movements, with the ball, without the ball, and yeah, I score goals. I'm hungry for more goals, and I don't want to stop. I want to take this good, these good games with me and score so much goals as possible.
You might not get 19, which is the club record held by Roy Krishna, but does 16 held by Jeremy Brockie look realistic? Let's work forward incrementally, lads.
Okay, sorry.
Does 16 look realistic for you this season?
Really, I don't care how much I'm going to score. I have 4 games left. If I score 10 goals in these 4 games, it's good. If I score 1, it's also good. It's why, you know, I have to be focused 90 minutes to be in the area when the ball is coming, and you know, I don't try to think so much because it doesn't gonna help me. I try to, you know, it's like a simple words, but really it's like this. I just wake up, try to get better. I have the game, I try to play good game, then wake up again and get better. So yeah, I don't try to think so much if I'm doing good or bad. Like all the time I try to get better, and that's my mentality.
Well, whatever it is you're doing, keep doing. Don't think too much because we like it.
You're a man after my own heart. Don't think at all. Oscar Zavada, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your goal today. Go and enjoy it with baby Leo.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Oscar. All right, Oscar. Jason Pine, commentator, is standing by with goal scorer Bruno Fornaroli. Cheers, Oscar. Thanks.
Bruno Fornaroli, you're 1-0 down. You go away with a 2-1 win and all 3 points. How do you assess the team's performance today?
Oh, look, especially after, like you say, 1-0 down, the team showed great character, you know, especially at the end when we can find a way to score 2 goals, and we put our bodies on the line and try to, you know, to suffer at the end because they play good football, but at the end we win the 3 points, and we are so happy.
When things aren't going well, I guess it would be easy to think it's not going to be our day again. Where does that internal drive come from in this victory side?
Yeah, trust me, sometimes when you can see we concede the first goal, you start to think like that, you know, but we talk in the first 45 minutes and we say it's last chance, you know, to keep going, to keep believing now. So it's up to us to change this game, and then that's what we did.
You take the 3 points back home. Unusual assignment midweek against Melbourne City. You resume that game. How do you approach that one?
Look, now we have to recover. Like we said before, we did a great effort today. We ran a lot, so we have to think now to recover it well. And, you know, it's 70 minutes to go. It's 1-0 down, but we don't care. We have to play.
You're 1 behind Archie Thompson now, 3 behind Shane Smeltz. You're closing in on those 2 as you climb the A-League goal-scoring ladder.
I'm coming for them.
Congrats, Bruno.
Thank you very much.
Got to be honest, don't enjoy watching Bruno Fornaroli fraternise with Jason Pine with a massive smile on his face. Ollie Sale's been kind enough to join us in the post-game chat. Ollie, your initial reaction, how gutted are you that you've managed to drop all 3 points here today against Victory?
Yeah, look, it's something that we thought we'd got rid of. It was an early season trend for us, and we thought we'd kind of got rid of that stigma of our group, and especially to concede 2 set-piece goals, thoroughly disappointing, and that makes 4 set-piece goals in the last 2 weeks. So that's a real area that we need to improve on.
What